Hi everyone, good afternoon. It's me, Koyona Duke, your coordinator again. So today we are going to be talking about you at a networking event. How do you stand out at a networking event? Our first video was an introduction, basically introducing you to the power of the power intro. The second video that we had was the video on the way you could stand out, the way you could build a valuable network, on building a valuable network across board, whether on social media or whether through your contact list or through LinkedIn, across board. So it was about building a valuable network. Now our third video is going to be about how you stand out at a networking event. So you have to be at a networking event on Saturday or Friday or next week Monday. And you have to have the skills that will make people remember you. How do we get people to remember us in this situation? We start from the beginning. Who are you? I spoke about this in the last session that we had. We talked about knowing yourself. Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you somewhere in the middle? Maybe an introverted extrovert or an extroverted introvert? However it is, do you like to meet people, talk to people, meet new people and make friends? Or do you prefer to stand on your own and have people come to you? Or are you just shy and you find it difficult to talk to people? No matter what kind of characteristic you have or whatever your personality is, it is possible to stand out at an event. People are not always looking to meet the most talkative person or the person who is the most animated. No, they are looking to meet the most interesting and memorable person. That is what you need to keep in mind. You need to be interesting and memorable. So today we are going to go through about 6 steps of how you can achieve being interesting and memorable at a networking event. The first one we are going to talk about is your objective. It's kind of like buying a house. Before you buy a house, you say, this is the kind of neighborhood I want to live in. These are the people I want my neighbors to be. I like the amenities in this neighborhood or in this estate. These are the things that target your thinking towards picking a place you would live. Now, when you have done this, you are able to better reach out or better select or even better bargain or negotiate concerning the place you want to live. You can say, oh, the roads are not even tarred. I don't have any neighbors. You can't sell it to me at that price. But if you don't know, if your objective is not clear on what you want to do, especially when you're going to a place like a networking event, you're just going to go there and probably waste your time. First of all, what kind of event is it? You cannot choose your objective if you don't know the kind of event it is or the kind of people who will be at it. If your customers are classy people, or if the people you want to meet are classy people, or they are teachers, or they have a certain level of the kind of people they mix with, you will not find them in City Park drinking beer at those places. You have to target them in the kind of events that they will be at. So you need to know. Will you meet them at fundraisers? Will you meet them at places where they are giving their peers awards? Will you meet them at places where your customers are gathered? Now that's how you need to decide on the kind of networking events you attend. You have to say, is this a networking event that will attract me to my customers? For example, if your customers are high-end spenders, you can be sure that you will not find them at City Park during Designers Marketplace, because that's not where high-end spenders go to shop. You have to look at places like 41 Locks. Maybe they are holding an event, in a networking event at 41 Locks. That's where you go, because that's where you will find your target customers or the target people you want in your network. You have to think out of the box, and you really have to think. If people tell you, oh, a network, come and pay, a networking event for this, a networking event for that, don't pay your money unless you know the kind of people that this event intends to attract. If they are not the right kind of people you want to meet, then don't waste your money. If they are the right kind of people you want to meet or make friends with, then please go ahead. Now, before I go to a networking event, I say to myself, today I want to meet 5 interesting people who could potentially be my clients in future. 5 interesting people with interesting businesses or interesting business ideas. Now, because I want to meet those 5 does not mean I will not meet other interesting people who do other things. It's just that I have a target. And when I say 5, I mean I have to get those 5 contacts and I have to start building relationships with them by the time I leave. So you can rest assured that the next day I will send you a text message. Hi, my name is Koyona Duke. You met me at so and so. I'm the girl that did, or the lady that does so and so. So you will know, you remember who I am. Oh, I'm the lady who had the beautiful bag you admired. Here's the link to the person who I bought the bag from. Things like this. Those are the sorts of things that make you memorable to the people you want to meet. Now, you have to decide what your objective is. Like I said, what is my objective? Why am I here? Why am I spending this money? Why am I taking this time? Your time is valuable. So you need to understand what is your objective. Excuse me. The next thing we have to understand from here is your presentation. How do you stand out at a networking event? Your presentation. How do you present yourself to the people that you meet? There's a favorite song I have, and one of the lines says, packaging told fresh. People are not going to interact with you if what they see about you already tells them, I shouldn't be interested in this person. We are not Bill Gates yet. We are not Mark Zuckerberg yet. Hopefully one of us is going to be, or all of us will be. But we are not there yet. So right now, people don't know who you are. They don't know your name. They don't know your face. Right now, you need to package ourselves in a way that will create an impression in people's minds. If they say it's a business casual event, I said this in the last one, dress up. Always dress up properly. You always appear properly dressed. I have a friend who always wears a suit and tie to everything. You can be sure of it. He appears in a suit and tie because he's a legal professional, and that is how you see a professional. There are some people that when you even go to meet them in your office, they'll be looking at your wristwatch, looking at your shoe. When you are going out, they will follow you to see your car so that they'll say, okay, this one is not a suffering consultant, so this one can take care of my business. People are vain and superficial like that. So you always have to present yourself in the best possible package. Even if you have 3 shirts and three shoes, or 2 shoes and 2 trousers, make sure they are up to snuff, they are ironed. If the elastic is cut, take it to the cobbler. It costs you 200 naira or less to fix it. Don't look battered, don't look haggard. Always present yourself in the best possible way. Your presentation does not only have to do with your dressing, it also has to do with the way you speak. Are you enunciating your words? Can people hear what you are saying? Do you look at me in my eyes when you're talking? Give me a firm handshake. It shows you're confident. Now, if you are an introvert, some of this may be difficult for you. But of course, wearing the best possible clothes and shoes and presenting yourself in proper package should not be hard. But when it comes to confidence, it may be hard for you. So I would suggest, like I suggested the last time, when you go into an event, walk up to the person who is also standing in the corner, maybe trying to get the lay of the land. Once you walk up to that person, you say, excuse me, my name is, you introduce yourself. And once you have introduced yourself to that person, you can begin to have a conversation with the person. Don't lose yourself in trying to be somebody you are not. Be authentic, be yourself, but present yourself in the best possible package. We want to meet the best version of you at every stage at this event. You don't just walk into the event and stand at the wall and that's where you stand. Or you walk into the event and you be fiddling with your phone. No. The people on your phone are obviously not doing it for you. That is why you are reaching out to meet real people in real life. So try your best to, when you get into a place, after you have presented, you walk up to somebody, introduce yourself to them. We have talked about the power introduction. Start with that. Start with your power introduction. The person has already started creating an idea of who they think you are. Who is this person? Oh, this person looks very neat and very put together. The person is obviously the professional they say that they are. So how you look matters. Don't let anybody deceive you that your packaging, the way you present yourself to other people does not matter. It matters. Hygiene. Do you know how difficult it is To have a conversation with somebody who has a smelly mouth or a smelly body, it's very difficult. It distracts. And even when they are making memories of you, they are making memories of you about that. Perception is everything. If you are smelling, they will say, oh, that was that. Oh, that was that one. Who are you talking about? Oh, Koyona Duke. From which company? What does she do? Oh, I met her. That's, oh my goodness, the woman. Does she not have a bag? That is how they remember you. But we don't want to be remembered like that. So that's why when we are going, make sure you have a clean bath. You make sure you use deodorant. You make sure you use perfume. Whatever it has to do, you make sure that you are clean and the package is a complete package. We are working on the assumption that when you open your mouth to start talking about your business or what you do after you have introduced yourself, you are passionate and you are knowledgeable about it, that the content will not matter. And even when they ask you questions about yourself or you ask them questions about themselves, you understand what you're saying so that the conversation will be interesting. We are trying to work on the package to make sure that what they see first also creates an impression. What is the last one now? Your personality. People like a person with an open and jovial personality. Even when you're an introvert, you can be polite, you can be nice, you can be open, you can be jovial. It is not necessarily for only those people who are extroverts or people that like to meet people. No. Even with your introverted personality, in fact, you are even the person who is even lucky. The tendency that an extrovert likes to talk too much is very high. And the tendency that people who talk too much don't listen is also very high. But when you are an introvert, the tendency that you listen more than you speak is very high. And that will always work to your advantage. You can give on the spot value because you listen more than you speak. That is why you have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that you can listen twice as much as you speak. If somebody is talking to you, you are paying attention, and while you are paying attention, you are going to be giving back value in that you are asking more informed questions. You're getting to know this person, and the person is answering the questions you want to get value. Now, the third thing is your conversation. We've spoken about that a little. You have to think about what is your story. People are always worried about what it is they are going to say at networking events. But there are basic rules on this. When I say rules, I don't mean like this is what you have to follow. But you make sure that you are first of all asking questions about the other person, so you are learning more. You don't want to be the person who dominates the conversation and talks only about yourself. You want to talk about them as well. So make sure that you ask questions, probably about family, depending on the kind of event it is. If it is a professional event, you can talk about your business. You can tell a story. That is the favorite part. People may not remember anything about you, but they might remember your stories. Make your stories interesting. You can even add some, flesh to them to make them stand out so people know, okay, this is, that's what happened to you. You say, lie. Oh my goodness. But they remember the story. The next time they see you, they'll say, you're the one that fell into the well. Things like that. They remember. When you want to talk to them, you can talk about family, you can talk about probably relationships, you can talk about their organizations or their businesses, you can talk about their growth process, you can talk about how they've gotten to where they are. So you can pick 4 of these things to talk about. You can talk about their growth process, you can talk about their interactions, interesting people that they have met at the event or in their lives. You can talk about their business. It's always an interesting topic. Also, what do you do? What got you into this? Where do you hope your business is going to? These are nice things to talk about. And when you have a deeper conversation with the person, you can now go personal. You can start asking about family relationships, friends, who they know, things like that. Those are part of the things you can talk about. Like I said, always listen, understand, and ask questions. You listen first, you understand what they're saying before you ask questions. So you ask informed questions. People love to talk to people who are informed, and you can always pick your information right off the bat. You can give, the next point is giving on-the-spot value. Points 2, 3, and 4 tied together. Point 2 was your presentation, how you present yourself. It is part of the value that you're adding. Your introduction, when I introduce myself to a person, the person will know already if I am going to be valuable to them. Then the third thing that you do is your conversation. The second thing you do is your conversation. The conversation that you are giving always has to add value. You cannot just give a conversation because have a conversation because you are having a conversation. But when you are having a conversation, make sure it's adding value. That's how it all ties into point number 4. If somebody has a question, if somebody has a concern about their business, and I am there, they'll be like, but it's so difficult to grow your business. We can start talking. And before you know it, I've given them 1 or 2 things that has already proven that, okay, I am an expert at this. This is what I do. And I am sure if I sit down with this woman and have an extended conversation with her, I'm going to get value. I was at an event, the Lafia Lifestyle Festival. That was a She Leads Africa event. So I went there because it's a beautiful opportunity to meet driven women who have businesses in the community. So I was like, okay, I'll be part of the event. So when I went to the event, my objective at going to this event was to learn and to network. And when I say networking, it was to meet like at least a minimum of 4 to 5 small business owners who are interested in building or scaling, or 4 to 5 people who have ideas that they want to build and explode. When I got there, I met like 10 women because I knew the people. When I got there, I talked to them, I get to know them, I ask them questions, and once I am getting feedback, I'm like, oh, I have this and this and this coming up. On the spot value, I already have a package ready for you to key into. I have my turn your business idea into money in the bank training coming up. And once I did that, they were like, oh, I want to key into this, I want to key into this. And I know that there are some of us who have small businesses that are part of our group who want to grow them. I can help you with that. This is also, I am inserting a pitch, but this is value that I add. So I can do this for you. So you always need to let people know the value that you are giving and give them, but answer their questions. Oh, how do my competition is doing this, how do I? You can always abbreviate and answer it. Okay, my skin, I have so many pimples. How do I? Say, oh, the way you eat, make sure that you're washing your face in the night, do this. You're giving them little sneak bits. Of course, the information is free. It's the execution that is paid for. By the time it's time for me, so I washed my face 7 days. You say, okay, fine. I recommend this product, this product, this product, this product. By the time I'm recommending this product, they are paying me. Customer number 1, signed, sealed, delivered. This is the way it's done. Even when you're building pair relationships, you will meet someone say, oh, I'm a consultant, I work with businesses. And another person say, oh, this is what I do. I work with bigger businesses though. I come from the angle of infrastructure. And I'll say, oh, that's wonderful, we can collaborate. Before you know, we're building a relationship and we're designing a training and a collaboration that can benefit not only both of us, but also the people that we are working with. Before you know, say, oh, I'm a trainer, I train businesses. Say, oh, wonderful, that's also what I do. And before you say, oh, I have a training coming up, would you be interested in taking this and this and this? And I'm like, oh, sure, I would love to. Business opportunity, collaboration. When you are networking upwards, that's you're networking with somebody more established with you, like a high level contact, and you're trying to deliver value on the spot, it's more difficult because they see a lot of people who try to pander to them. What I will encourage you not to do is to flatter. You can compliment, but based on reality, because these people rarely get people who tell them the truth. So if you tell them the truth, it will benefit you more. So do not flatter, tell them the truth in a polite and productive way. Like if they have a problem, you tell them, oh, this is what I need, and you give them a solution for it on the spot. When you are sending them a message, say, oh, this is me, this is what I do, this is where you met me. And they remember and say, oh, that's the lady that said this and this and this about my business. I can incorporate this change. Sometimes these people may not even need these sorts of things from you. You can add value on anything. It doesn't have to be a constant. You can ask questions. You can say, oh, what motivated you to write your last book? Or that your speech, this part of your speech that said so and so and so and so, what motivated that insight? It helps them to know, oh, this person is listening, and you're trying to create a memorable experience with yourself. So ask a question. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't say, this person gets a more established business than me, I can't ask. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Always ask questions. And then practice. If I am going to go and do a training or to speak to an audience of some sort, I stand in front of my mirror and I practice my speech. I practice my hand gestures. And I didn't do practice for this because this is a video I am making for you. So I'm basically seeing myself back. So if there's something I'm doing that I don't like, I will take it back. I know I am sweating. It's pretty hot today. So, but what is most important for you to do is to make sure that you are practicing. Practice as often and as how do I say, different and as diverse as you want. Stand in front of the mirror. Practice body language. Practice your posture, your hand gestures. Practice. Make sure you're staying authentic and real to yourself. Don't do anything that doesn't feel natural to you. Make sure that you are practicing based on what it is that's natural to you. Then one of the last things I want to talk about is second to the last, is your contact information. Some people appear at networking events without even as much as a business card. It makes you seem unprepared. Whether you like it or not, you have a phone, you can scan their business cards or whatever. It is always better for you or best for you to have your complimentary card. And when you collect a complimentary card from somebody, take the complimentary card, write something memorable about them on it. For example, Koyona Duke with a nice handbag, or Koyona Duke with a nice shoe, or Koyona Duke that consults for small businesses. Even if my complimentary card says it, if you write something a way you remember it on the card, you are most likely bound to remember. When you are giving your card to somebody, you can say, oh, this is my card. It's up to them to write the way they remember you. But if people have built a jovial relationship, write something about yourself on the card and hand it to them. Another pertinent fact you need to remember to stand out at a networking event: never, ever, ever, ever in your life, no matter how comfortable you think you have become with that person, ask for anything on the first meeting. It's like trying to sell to a cold audience. Never ask for anything. It's either people feel pressured and they say yes and then later they don't pick your calls, or you give them a bad taste in their mouth and they're like, oh, this person is trying to sell me or to market me or something. Never ask for something. That's how relationship marketing started. People will build a relationship with you and then market to you, market whatever it is they want to sell to you after they have built and solidified the relationship. So I've gone through 7 facts. I'll start from the beginning and run it through. The first one is your objectives. Know your objectives at the networking event. If you are going to attend a networking event, ask questions. Who's going to be at the event? How large is the crowd going to be? Who are the speakers? What target audience am I expecting at the networking event? Don't just go to the event and not know any of these things. Because, for example, there might be somebody on the panel you want to meet. You need to do your research and prepare to meet them. And when you do your research and you're informed about them, when you approach them, you have valid and strong questions to ask them. You are more memorable to them. Number 2, your presentation, the way you smell, the way you talk, the way you introduce yourself, your hygiene, and your personality. These are part of your presentation. They are part of your package. How you produce this, how you present this to somebody is one of the things that makes you memorable and stand out. Your conversation is number 3. The way you speak, the way you talk, the stories you tell, the questions you ask. These are part of the thing. It's always a conversation people will remember, because people are making impressions of you based on sight, sound, feel, smell. All their senses are engaged when they're interacting with you. So if you have a bad smell, that's an X. If you talk anyhow, you're lousy or you're gossipy, that's an X. If your conversation is directed, targeted, you're listening, you're asking proper questions, that's a mark in your favor. So make sure that your conversation is well keyed. The things that you should target to talk about is their aspirations. You can talk about their business. You can talk about their personality or things that informed their growth, to where they are. These are nice things to talk about if you're at a professional networking event. If it is a more laid-back networking event, for example, then you talk about more simple things like family, friends. You tell stories about yourself. You always have an opportunity when you're talking to somebody to tell stories about yourself. So you can do that. Then the fourth thing I talked about was adding value on the spot. Adding value on the spot is easy to do when you pay attention, when you do your research before the event, especially if you are networking upwards, that is, you're networking with somebody who's more established than you are. Adding value is very important to them because they only remember you based on the emotions or the way you feel. Ask questions. You can add value by asking questions, listening and asking informed questions, listening and having informed conversations, and making sure that you let people know that you can solve a problem that they have. But don't ask them for it. Let them know that, oh, I can solve this problem because this is what I do. But you don't need to say, oh, let me do it for you now. Come and sign contract, Then practice. Always practice talking to other people and less stressful situations. Practice these skills that we've talked about, even in the office. When you walk up to somebody in the office, talk to them, practice these skills. Small by small, you start to become the expert networker that you need to be. And then contact information. Make sure that your complimentary card is available and there's something that stands out about your complimentary card. What's the best way that your complimentary card should look? There is no standard, but if you have a logo, then it needs to be bold. Your name, your email address have to be on there. Your phone number, a phone number that is new, that is valid, that people can reach you on, has to be on there. Your social media handles, because these are very easy ways for people to get to know you and connect with you, they have to be on there. If you have any questions, post it under the video. Thank you so much for taking part in this with me. Goodbye.